too. All right, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat, Shavua Tov, Chanukah Sameach, Freilich and Chanukah. And again, we're learning for our dear soldiers, for their well-being, and their swift, they should have a very swift mission, and to all come home and bring back those captives with them. Is it true, Yossi, that there were two soldiers that were trying to, they found where the captives were and they were trying to get there and they got injured?
I don't know if it's, I doubt they're all together, but they may have attempted a rescue.
It was an attempt, yeah. Unbelievable.
They're all booby trapped up around, and a lot of that has to do with the ceasefire, which is, meaning they knew this would happen. A lot of these soldiers that are dying are because, oh my gosh, we walk into these places and all of a sudden they blew up, and they were blown up because of everything that was done during those few days.
Yeah.
And they made a judgment. It's an amazing thing, but they said no. They said, look, at the end of the day, we're still going to get people out. We know they're going to set up booby traps. We know we're going to lose soldiers over it. We know this. But that's what we do. We take it, we the army, will sooner die than the civilians. So if we can get them back.
Amazing. Mama's amazing. Wow. Okay, Hashem should show us the beautiful miracles that He can, Mamash, change this thing around. Mamash Karafayan. Okay. So we're learning in Hilchas Birchas Hashacha Halacha Gimel. Today we're going to do Mem Dalet, so it's 3:44. Okay. We learned the beautiful on Erev Shabbos that we start the first stanza of the Hallel, right? We say Avdei Hashem, and then we end off with Ema Banim Samecha Hallelujah, right? So we end off with the children, right? And that's really the story of the world in that stanza. In that stanza of the Hallel, the first one, it really shows us that we start off as Avodim, this switch, but then we come back at the end, like in the end of the story, the Ben HaMelech becomes the king, and we become the children, and everything goes back. So, no, Baruch Hashem, what a beautiful thing. Nice idea when you're saying the Hallel to have that in mind. Okay, so today we're going to learn now, sometimes Hashem calls us Banim, sometimes He calls us His children, and sometimes He calls us Avodim, servants. So let's see what the difference is and how that works out today. Okay? Malkein. Yisrael nikroyim pa'amim b'shem avodim. LaHashem is baruch hu pa'amim b'shem banim. Sometimes Hashem calls us His servants. We are His servants, and that's an honor to be Hashem's servant, right? Right? But we said we're only a servant. Why are we a servant? Because we still are fighting. We're still fighting the Yetzer Hara, right? We're still fighting the Yetzer Hara, and yet I want to do this, but the body is constantly in that war battle with the Yetzer Hara, so he has to force the body to do it, right? It's not that the body is is serving Hashem in a willingly eager way, you know. All right, but Banim, that's the most beautiful thing when we feel that we're our Kadosh Baruch Hu's children. So then, of course, we want it like a child wants to do what the father wants, right? Maybe not when they're very young. As we get older, right? And we respect, we feel the love, and we understand what our parents went through to raise us, right? All the situation that and then we appreciate that, and we feel compelled, we want to take care of our parents, we want to do the right thing because of that. But maybe we didn't recognize that earlier, right? The same way with Hashem, with us. We don't recognize what Hashem does. But as we get older, we realize all the goodness that Hashem does for us. And that's a beautiful thing to always thank Hashem. Kili b'nei Yisrael avodim. Like it says in Vayikra, Kili b'nei Yisrael avodim. To me, the b'nei Yisrael, the Jewish people, are avodim, Hashem says. Avdehem. Asher Yitzesi Oisa Meretz Mitzrayim Lo Yimchiru Mimkeres Eved. Don't sell yourselves to be a servant, right? Don't sell yourself. In other words, a Jew, right? We're not supposed. There's such a thing as an Eved Ivri, right? But a person becomes an Eved Ivri not because he wanted to sell himself necessarily, because he may have gotten himself in trouble. right? He may have borrowed money, he may have stolen money, he may have, who knows what, and he made a bad investment, he can't pay the guy back, right? Let's say even a good thing, right? The guy thought he borrowed money from his friend, right? He wanted to make an investment, right? And the investment fell through. Now he has to pay back his friend, but he doesn't have the money. So they would sell him as a servant. You would have to, and the value of his whatever he was worth would go to cover his debt, right? And then we said sometimes we have the thing where the person was a servant and he wants to stay as a servant, right? So then we have to take and stick his ear at the doorpost with the drill and drill his ear, right? Why? Because he didn't hear with that ear that didn't hear that you're supposed to be my servant, Hashem. You want to be his servant, so we'll drill your ear. Unbelievable. Yeah. What?
He could theoretically sell himself, not the best and sells him, but he could sell himself as an Eved.
Well, we're saying not to do that.
It could happen.
He could have, but he's not supposed to do that. Hashem says don't do that.
I think that there are differences between those two types of Avadim.
Yeah.
I remember what I think maybe that they can't give him a Shifcha Kanani if he does it on his own. I don't remember.
No, an Eved Ivri is an Eved Ivri. No, an Eved Ivri is an Eved Ivri, and you have to treat him with a high level of respect. It's unbelievable. And I mean, the rules are very, 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 very strict. Well, let's say you have one pillow, right? So the servant gets the pillow, not you. Right?
You only have steak.
Yeah. So he gets the steak. You have to eat the potatoes.
He's really a guest in the house.
Yeah.
He does some work, but he's treated like a guest.
It's unbelievable, right? It's really unbelievable. All right, but anyway, the point here is don't sell yourself as a servant because you're really supposed to be Hashem's servant. Okay? Ki lebechinas eved mamish ein achiza bahem lebechinas lo yimkru mimkeres eved. Right? Because really, for Yisrael, it's not a good thing that we want to sell ourselves. We shouldn't want to do that. Came avodim the kedusha avdei Hashem asher haitziam mieretz Mitzrayim mibeis avodim. Because Hashem took us out of Egypt, He took us out of servitude. We were slaves, mama's slaves in Egypt. He took us out of that, so we are then supposed to be HaKadosh Baruch Hu's slave, not the slaves to other people. Avdus Shazeh, Iker HaGolus, Al-Yedei Gabras Avdus the Sitrach. And that was the main golus that is really the main golus. Whenever someone feels that they're so trapped by society, they're so trapped by the circumstances they're in, that's really servitude, right? They don't feel that they're free. People feel that way, right? They feel that they're servitude to their different desires, right? This guy needs this guy needs that, he needs, right?
Very good.
Yeah.
To focus on that is in the third paragraph of Shema, Asher Asiti Echem Yeretz Mitzrayim, V'Yotachem Elohim. Like we've already been through Avdus.
Right.
We've been there, we've done it. Hashem has taken us out.
Right.
We just have to recognize it.
Well, that's what we're saying, right? Exactly right. We're perfect, Yossi. Exactly. But sometimes Hashem calls us children, His children. Beautiful, right? We were in Mitzrayim, right? We were we were steeped in our impurity, right? Steeped, right? We were involved with Avodah Zarah, all this other stuff that we were involved in Mitzrayim, right? But HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us then, B'ni b'chayri Yisrael. He didn't tell it to us when we were in Har Sinai. He told it to us when we were in our lowest state. Right? Mitzrayim, we were in our lowest state. We didn't have a Torah, right? And we were so down. The Mitzrayim, look what they did to us. It was unbelievable, right? And we were so down. And we were so involved in the shtifa, the impurities of Mitzrayim. But Hashem says then, B'ni b'chayri Yisrael. Unbelievable. What?
How does that translate?
What is a b'char, Mordechai? Let's figure it out. What's b'ni? What's a b'ni? Let's see if we can figure it out. My son, yes. Okay. B'chori.
The firstborn.
Yisrael.
Israel. Firstborn of Israel.
There we go.
Okay, thank you.
You see that? You know these things. That's why I'm just showing you know the words. Don't be scared. Translate them. You know the words. Okay. Oh, here's an interesting one. Right? It says in Devarim, right? We're children to Hashem, so we shouldn't inflict wounds on ourselves. Right? When we hear someone Chas Shalom died, right? If somebody died, right? So sometimes people, they inflict wounds, but we don't do that.
Is this, for example, where we got no tattoos? Does that come from this?
Maybe. No, tattoos something else, I think.
Okay.
Specifically says tattoos.
What? With Kaka, right? That's a separate one. This is something else. This is to do with Mason. You'll see in a minute, Yossi. Just stay.
All right.
Yeah. Ki tzrichim shnei bechinas betchila behechrech shetia avoida bechinas avdos v'achar kach zoichem lebechinas ben. So we have to first start out serving Hashem. So we said like Shemitayich loy lishma boy lishma, right? We start out serving Hashem because we don't necessarily understand what we're doing, but then we come to appreciate it, come to appreciate Hashem, and our relationship changes. Our relationship changes, and we feel like we're a son, we're a child of Hashem, not just a slave. Right? That's how it starts off. Now he's going to explain what this means. Okay, so we're going to, and actually in the next paragraph we're going to learn a little bit more about this leisus to do in the karcha, right? We'll see in a minute now. So that's mem hey now. Banim atem laHashem lakeichem leisus to do leisasimu karcha beineinechem alameis. Don't make cuts and don't make sign and whatever different types of damages a person would make to his body, because he felt the pain of the death. He felt it. So he lost somebody. He felt the pain. So he inflicts the cuts into himself or something. Don't do that. I mean, we're not comfortable. I guess it was more. I guess in the time with the pagans, I guess this was a more common practice. We don't really have this today. I don't think people do this, right?
So like in India, I think there's a man dies, his wife jumps into the fire. And
She what?
They burn the body.
Yeah.
The wife, the widow, jumps into the fire and dies also with her husband.
Oh, she does?
I heard that once.
Okay.
They still do that?
Wow.
Beautiful man.
No. We're gonna see. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Shaloya Sani Goy. See that?
Yeah.
Shaloya Sani Goy. Baruch Hashem. Wow. In the Kocha Ben Nechem Alameis. Shesamach Eitzel Mitzvah Zoy Staika Likroisam B'Shem Banim. And it's interesting that Hashem calls us Banim, His children, when it comes to this strange mitzvah. Why would Hashem want to call us children at this time? Notice he uses the lashon Banim Atem LaHashem. We are like Keichem, right? We're Hashem's children. So therefore, don't inflict yourself wounds on your body when you hear of someone's death. Interesting that Hashem uses the language of children with that, isn't it? Right? Shesamach Eitzel Mitzvah Daika L'Kroisa B'Shem Banim Ki Ha B'Had Talia. Because they're both interdependent of the other. How? V'hu tamei shel mitzvah zayis. Ki Hashem yisbarach oimer liyisrael. Banim atem. V'al kein also liz goyded v'laseis korcha ala meis. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu calls us His children, therefore we're not allowed to inflict any wounds on our bodies, right, because of the death. Now he's going to explain. We have to really understand and we have to believe that really death is something very good for the body. It's something very good for the body itself. So that way the body can come to the level of Ben, real Ben, a child. Why? Because we said so long as the body is alive and the body is from Chava, and Chava had the impurity of the snake infused placed in her. So that means every one of her offspring, we all are part of Chava's offspring, has this impurity of the nachash in us. And that is the exchange, and that is the feel that when we feel compelled and we feel that we are slaves to the world, and we are slaves. But when the person passes away and the body goes in the ground, specifically in the ground, and that's where Adam Rishon was created from the earth, the dust of the ground, right? So the body goes into the ground again, and then the body becomes back to dirt. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have the Tchias, will make the Tchias HaMesim, where the body will then be resurrected with dirt again, with the same thing. The body will be resurrected again, and at that time, it won't have the impurity of the snake. The same way we gave the example, if you remember, if you have a Kli Shares, right? If you have an earthenware vessel, right? If you have an earthenware vessel, if the vessel becomes impure, what do you have to do to it? You have to break it. You have to break it, right? Because you can't purify it. It has to be broken. Now, you could take the shards, the broken parts of the pottery, and you could grind them back down and make a new vessel, and it's fine. That's the same idea we said is with the body. When the body goes into the ground and the body gets rebuilt, again, it will be rebuilt at the time of Mashiach with Tchias HaMesim, but it'll be rebuilt purely. Are you okay?
Points on this.
Okay, you got no problem, Yossi.
One is, you're saying that we move from Evet to Ben at the time of death?
No. Because a person's an Eved, right, and he doesn't really feel his connection to Hashem on a real deep level as the Ben.
Right.
So therefore, Misa, we said, Chazal say, is something good for the body. So Rav Nosson is explaining why is it good. He's explaining why is it good. Because when the body, again, what is the feeling that he can't...
It's good for the soul.
No, it's good for the body. The soul is fine. It's the body. The soul will come back again in the body. That's the thing. You understand? That's we have a neshama now that's in the body, but the body has a handicap because it has the impurity, the nachash, inside it. We can't do anything about that.
But you're saying when it does come back, it's going to come back without the nachash in it.
Exactly. The same way I gave you the example.
If you're just going to have me come back as another Gilgal with another nachash in me, so like, what am I really doing?
No, not another Gilgal. This is not a Gilgal. This is when Mashiach comes.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
That's amazing. No nachash.
No, right. The same way the Kli Shares, when you have that the earthenware vessel, right? The earthenware vessel, you can't purify it unless you break it.
Right.
So to our bodies, they can't be purified unless they're disintegrated and then rebuilt back without the impurity of the nachash.
What about the tzaddik where he doesn't disintegrate?
The tzaddik, okay, because we said that tzaddik has to die because he still had that impurity, but he purified his body so much so that his body was totally in sync with his neshama. So his body didn't want to do anything contrary to what his neshama wanted to do. Right? And as he purified himself so much so that the body was, whatever he got rid of it, he didn't get rid of it. He had the body so trained so well that anything the neshama wanted to do, the body was willingly ready to do. Never argued. Never had a disagreement. Okay? All right. Wow. The main thing of Misa is so that we can be nullified and we can be consumed in the dirt, right? Levalois. We can get mixed in with the dirt, and then the dirt is what's pure. The dirt is pure, right? The dirt is pure. The same way Hashem used the dirt to make Adam, and Adam was pure until Adam defiled himself, right? You want to say something,
I
David?
think a good word for that might be reconstituted. It gets rebuilt from the old part.
Reconstituted, okay. Okay.
It's really,
Good word. Very good. Shkayach. Okay, reconstituted. Levalois, reconstituted. Okay, ba'ofar. Zumas bechinas ha'evet. Kadesha niskil la'osid lokum betchias haguf zach. That way the person can get up with a clean body. without the impurity of the Nachash. Again, we didn't learn, I'm filling you in on the lessons that we had before on this. Okay, it's not in here. This is part of the lessons that we learned. I'm just filling back where it was, otherwise, okay. Then the person can actually become back as a ben. He'll feel he's a prince. He'll feel he's Hashem's son. He'll feel that close connection that a son has with a father. He'll feel that beautiful connection. The same way a child that can go in the ginzei ha'aviv, he can go into his father's storehouses, right? His treasure store, right? He feels so close with the father. The father says, you can't have anything. They're so close to each other. Unbelievable. Because then we will recognize Hashem b'shem ha'etzem. In other words, it won't be anymore. We won't read Yud Kei Vav Kei and say Adnos, but we'll read Yud Kei Vav Kei as Yud Kei Vav Kei because we won't have that impurity of the Nachash. The body will be so clean, so that way we won't be damaged by the light, the power of the light of Hashem's name that He conceals now to us, that we can only have Hashem's name now via His aliases, via His actions and His attributes, but we don't have Hashem's name now because we have the impurity. But when Mashiach comes, we'll be able to understand, we'll have the full name of Hashem because it won't be damaging to us. Really, Hashem could give us the light now too, but it'll damage us. That's why He doesn't do it. Balkein Mukshar Heitev Mikra Bekesha Nifla Kidaika Meichmas Yisrael Nikroyim Be'emes Banim. See, now we can understand this because really we're called Hashem's children. That's the truth. That is the truth. We are Hashem's children. We are Hashem's children, like it says in that pasuk. Therefore, don't cause those inflictions on yourself when you hear about the Misa. Don't do that. Because the Misa is the step to bring that person, the deceased person, closer to becoming to his rectification, to his rectification, by coming to that recognition of Hashem that He's the Ben and He's not the Eved. So therefore, that's why it says, Hashem reminds you, remember guys, you're my children. You're children. The goal is children. And now this one died, so don't cause an infliction on yourself because he died. Remember, we're children. He's going to be your child. This deceased person is going to come back, and he's going to come back as a Ben. He's going to come back rectified. So why are you going to hurt yourself because of that? It's really something good. It's really hard to understand it, right? Right? It goes against everything we understand, but we understand. But that's again, if the world to us is everything, right? If the person lives his life that the world is everything, so then it's very, very hard to stomach this, right?
I guess my only, so to speak, tie on this, maybe I'm jumping the gun to get to this.
Okay.
Look, thank you for telling me about Mashiach, what it's going to be like, and that's good. Maybe I shouldn't feel so bad about transitioning to the next world, okay? And I'm asking. But I need help now. I need help in this world. I want to be a Ben now.
Yeah, so that
I want to be an Evan. So you're telling me, don't worry, us the next world will be a Ben.
No. Rav Nosson is just bringing you this as a proof to qualify this lesson. He's showing you. He's bringing this here as a proof that we are supposed to be in this world Bana. So try your best to feel that you're a Ben at this point. Try to feel you're Hashem's child right now. Try. It's hard, but try.
It's hard. You'll never really.
You may not, but maybe you will. Just try. Shoot for the stars. You never know. Maybe you will. But he's telling you what our goal is. Otherwise, we don't know. No one else will give you an understanding why it says Banim Atem L'Shem.
That's true.
I mean, it makes no sense. What was Banim and Lois What do the two things have anything to do with each other? So he's giving you a nice understanding how you can understand the pasuk. The same way we learned the first stanza of the Halachos, right? We start off with Avadim and we end off with Banim. That's the goal. That's what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to do in life. And that's why he said that the story, the 11th story in Tzipurei Maisias of the Ben HaMelech Shenechlav, that story is really the story it's really the story of the world. That's really the story of the world, story of creation.
So if we can picture the fact that we will be
Resurrected.
Reconstituted.
If we know
Reconstituted.
That, we know that now.
Yeah.
We don't have to wait till then. I mean,
We can work on it now, yes.
We can accept ourselves as being sons and not slaves,
Yeah.
and not trapped. and
Right,
not-
but
and not
we
lost.
have the Yetzer Hara, and we have those things that the Yetzer Hara
Yeah,
wants us
we're
to
fighting
do,
it,
and we're constantly fighting, and then therefore that's why it's inevitable. But every time you could just do something,
Yeah.
and you just do it because you feel the how Hashem loves you and you love Hashem, and you do it for that reason, then you're
So
accomplishing that.
He's giving us a great tool for acting right now.
Right now, you
Not
can
waiting
use
till you're
it.
dead.
You can use it now. Try to be a Ben now. Try to be feel this now in your life.
If you're feeling trapped and like a slave and dead-ended, just think that's the Yetzer Hara. Go away, Yetzer Hara. I'm really a Ben.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm not going to submit myself to that.
Yes.
What was the
Like
story you
like
said?
you would say.
What story?
You said, I don't know, you said.
The 11th story in Sipurei Maisis, Rabbi Nachman's stories. The 11th story, which is the exchanged children.
That's what I thought you thought. Okay.
Yes.
I would just name myself the child now and forget the other one.
That's what he said.
You can name yourself whatever you'd like, but the question is, but can you get rid of all that other stuff and really say I'm changing totally 100%? Hard to do that.
Challenge.
Yes, practically speaking it is.
Yes.
But in my mind, I choose to think of myself as a child of Hashem.
Gewaldig, wonderful. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then put it to practice.
Yeah.
Because again, whatever you're thinking about, that's how you'll start to imagine, and that'll cause your actions to follow suit.
Right.
Remember we learned about the Koyach HaMedama,
Yes.
right? So if it was about, he's giving us this idea, this tool, to put in our minds that we are the children of Hashem,
Which is different than being an Eved of Hashem.
which is different than being an Eved. Because an Eved means, yes, I'm serving Hashem, but I'm doing it because I'm a servant. Which is good. No, Yossi.
like the ideal.
No, I understand. Okay. Yes, we want to be Avdei Hashem because it sure beats the rest of the world the way what they're involved in. Right? They're literally slaves to their nonsense beliefs, right? They're mamish literally slaves. Literally slaves.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Really, it's truly amazing. It's
Think
amazing.
about the times when I've been stubborn in my paradigm.
Oh yeah?
That I know it's this way, and it turns out it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I see that all the time, even though.
I mean, I'll give you an example of you feel like you're a slave, right? So look what happened last week with the U Penn, right? In the U Penn, right? So this lady can say that she can't. It cost them $100 million. They lost $100 million.
She lost a job.
They fired
She
her, yeah.
lost the job and but she's a slave. The people are slaves.
She lost her job, but they still.
Yes, $100 million just to stand there and say we love the Jews. The Jews should live well. For $100 million, you can't say it. Is that not a slave? Is that not a slave? Yes, $100 million. And who else? Who knows how many other ones they're going to lose as well, right? Unbelievable. The mama's slave. People are mama's slaves to their nonsense.
With all their chachma and all their IQs and all
Right.
their philosophies and theologies and dissertations.
That's what
and
makes them-
academia, with all that.
But what happened in Germany was the same nonsense, right? In the
Well, that was
30s.
what came up Shabbos. Someone said this in your name. It started in the universities.
Yeah.
In Germany.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, really?
It did.
It starts in universities and
Wow.
media. Those are the two culture makers.
Yeah.
Well, now they're both together. The media with
They've
the
always been.
yeah.
They're the ones that define the culture and people.
Yeah.
That's their principles. I mean, You gotta give him credit.
No, so Yossi again. So again, it's beautiful how Rav Nosson just bringing this to qualify this, to understand what we're learning here. He wants us to understand it. And Rav Nosson told us in the Hakdama, he's going to give you when it seems that I'm being repetitive. He wrote this in his Hakdama. When it seems that I'm being repetitive, it's only something I'm trying to bring across that you really need to understand. It's very, very, very dependent for your yadus. You need to know this. So I'm going to give it to you in different ways because each person will understand it in a different way. So I'm just, he means to say, I don't mean to harp on things, but if he is, he's not doing it to harp on, he's doing it because he really wants us to understand this. And how important it is to understand this today, that we are Mamash Hashem's children. That we are Hashem's children.
That's why every year we start the Torah all over again.
Yeah.
Because we have to repeat it.
Well, I mean, just look at it. Look, all of us sitting here in this room, right? We all started out somewhere else. None of us were born here in Israel, right?
Right.
Right? No, none of us, right? We were all born somewhere else, right? Yeah. And Hashem picked us up. Our father said, come on, it's time to go home. Right? Yeah. Right? We all have a different story, right?
And we listened. And we listened.
No, we all have a different story.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just to realize these things, it's unbelievable. We have the people, the goalless mentality. I was on the phone. There's a Rosh Yeshiva, is a great person in America. I'm not going to say his name. Doesn't matter. So he said that our main avoda is we have to learn and daven. I said, okay. Yeah, I said, but you also, what was I saying? You also have to do things, physical things. You can't just say, I'm going to learn and daven, right? Well, he said no. There's different things. In the war, there are different people. This guy drives the tank, and this one does this. So we feel we have to learn and we have to daven. So I said to him, you also have to give, be nice to the soldiers, give them things and make them feel warm and all of that because they're the ones on the front line. So he said, no, we just have to learn and daven. So I said to him, wait a second. So I said to him, Rabbi, in your own, with the way you do things in your own yeshiva, you always have a big dinners and big different things to have for the guys, that they have a lot of food and a lot of good food. So to get the guys to come to learn, when you give them their food, then they'll start to listen, they'll start to learn. Right? So I said, we have to do the same thing. We have to give the soldiers, keep the soldiers going because these guys some of these guys are brand new to Yiddishkeit, right? Some of these guys are mamish brand new to Yiddishkeit. They had no idea, right? They're walking around with a tzitzit. They don't even have a kippah. They don't know about that yet, right? No one told them the great thing about a kippah yet, right? So they're wearing tzitzit, right? They're wearing tefillin, but they don't have a kippah, right? They're learning. They're learning, the guys. So it's so important to be nice to the guys, to be nice to them and show them love and show them how beautiful Yiddishkeit is. So he said, okay, all right.
But we gotta learn and we gotta daven, right?
Yeah, no, of course you have to learn and daven, of course. But you have to show. Yeah, okay. Anyway, let's go to Memvav. Okay, any questions on this now? Any questions on this idea? We understand that really Rav Nosson wants us to help us to be that we feel that we are HaKadosh Baruch Hu's children.
Big idea. Like when we say Avinu Malkeinu, that's like a big thing. So sometimes Hashem is Avinu, sometimes he's Malkeinu. So I guess in my paradigm, it's like I'm thinking, look, yes, I'm an Eved to the Yetzer Hara. I know that. Ranakhman's helping me get to what we've been learning the last couple of weeks, to be an Eved to Hashem, which is a huge mile. I mean, it's huge. That's the level again. Now you're bringing another level to say, look,
yeah.
If you can go even higher, there's something of being a ben, which I guess is more like an upbringing out of Abba.
Yes. You have tshuva me'ira, tshuva me'ahava.
Yeah, and there are times where you do have that feel.
Yeah.
Meaning even in Bodadud or Itati, that's I won't say Melech. I mean, that's like I'll
yeah.
Avinu,
Avinu, you're still saying Avinu. Avinu's first.
That's example. That's true.
Avinu.
Yeah.
It's both. It's not either or.
Both. Meaning it's right.
You are a father and you are a king.
Can you believe it that, wait a second,
Simultaneously.
Father, you're the king. Wow. Father, you are the king. What are you saying?
My father's the king.
Wow, that means I'm the prince. What are you saying? When you're saying Avinu Malkeinu, right? That means our father, he's the king. That means we're the princes.
Right,
The lesson.
right.
Isn't that what we're saying? Yeah, and sometimes we feel Avinu, sometimes we feel Malkeinu, sure.
Right.
Sure, but that's based on, again, Hashem's actions, right? Based on his actions, right? We recognize Hashem based on things he's doing in the world, right? But again, the main thing is to reveal Hashem's name. So look at this. Now we're going to finish up the whole this lesson, and wow, I'm going to miss this lesson. But anyway, yeah, the next lesson, yeah.
What do you mean?
Every time we learn something and we finish a lesson, I always like, oh no, it's going to take me time to get back to it again. Yeah, okay. Valkain, look at this now. Mem Vav, 46, 446. Valkain Nikra Chanukah al Shem Chanukas Habeis Hamikdash. Therefore, Chanukah is called Chanukah based on, because we rededicated, right? There was a rededication of the Beis Hamikdash. Shenis Chanech Oz K'may Shomer Beiseinu Zal. Right? We learned new, right? The chinuch is also learning, right? Is rededication. It's all the things all together, right? We had this new idea, right? We by the time of Hanukkah, the mainstream Jewish people thought that they had to be Hellenists, right? They thought they had to be like the Greeks, and they were servitude to the Greeks, to the Greek philosophy. They were servitude to the Greek ideals, right? Is that what happened, Yossi, right? Right? So that's why this has to do with Hanukkah, right? Because Hanukkah, there was a chinuch, there was a new understanding. Wow, how is it possible that this kohen, how is it possible him with his sons, they were able to overtake the Greek army? We thought that these guys were we thought they were impossible. Why you say?
No, this is the chiddush of what's kind of happening now. For example, what happened at Penn, meaning, when we were growing up, fine, we were brought up the same more yeshiva environment, but even then, like your average Jew in America.
Oh, that my son can go to the
my whole avodah zarah, my whole chetei egel, my golden calf is to go to Penn,
Yeah.
Washington U.
The poison ivy. Poison ivy.
But that's and it's okay. And
Poison Ivy League, right?
I'm gonna work like a dog. And I'm going to miss a lot of family events.
Yes.
And I'm going to be able to go, just so I can go ahead and get it. And I'm going to dress up, like a guy basically. And I'll have a picture with a dog with my family. And
the white picket fence. And the white picket fence.
And we're going to go ahead and we're going to fit in just perfect. Guess what? They opened the doors for us. We're in. Hellenism has a really good point, and it's too darn enticing. And if you go ahead and play by the Hellenistic rules, you're going to be in, and you're going to be continuing at the top of society. And the truth is, they had a good argument going because it seemingly worked for a while. And now all of a sudden, push comes to shove, and you have a little something like we have going on here in Eretz Yisrael. You asked, by the way, you asked your golden calf. I'm giving you a lot of money. I'm helping you out. I dedicated my life to you, my entire family, my soul to you. Is it genocide to my business? And you can't answer. And you say, what the heck? It's my whole avodah zarah.
Look at it.
I gave my whole life for this, and no one has my back. I'm left out in the Torah. It turns out, yes, there's some Torah. If you can turn to it,
yes,
you'll be right. But imagine the shattering that.
The Jews around the world were shattered when they heard that.
Country club. My kid goes to Harvard or Penn, and now nobody's giving me any kavod. And what? Penn, Harvard, these people, a bunch of anti-Semites, a bunch of whack.
And how much money I gave them?
Money I gave my whole life.
Oh my gosh!
I went to work every day for 12 hours a day.
That bubble blood bursted, right? They popped up, bursted the bubble. It was a bubble.
It was finally okay.
But Yossi, it was a bubble.
They treat me like an equal. You don't have to give me the whole place, but at least let me in.
Yeah.
And it turns out what a fraud.
And what happened to Germany, the German Jews that fought in World War I, and they had their medals. And they had their medals, and they said, Hitler, look, we have medals. We fought with you. He said, oh, get in the cattle car.
And so they're here at least.
It's the same. It's history constantly repeats itself.
Yeah.
Here it is. It's history repeating itself again. But what happened on Hanukkah? The Matisyahu really bursted their bubble. That you thought that you have to be like these Greeks, and then they'll take care of you, and they'll give you, they'll make you Greek citizens, and then you'll get all the benefits of the Greeks, and everything will be great. But that's what they wanted, right? And you can go and study with them, and all of that stuff.
And the body, the beauty of the body,
Yeah.
the strength of the body, and here these scrawny little rabbis beat them,
Exactly.
basically.
Right.
So that's why it's a chinuch.
That's the point. And then, and me, the guy who dedicated my life to Penn and Harvard and gave it, that was my vote. And those whack job rabbis who are teaching this silly stuff from the medieval ages, they're a bunch of whack job. It turns out, they might
This
say,
is it. This is it.
that's even worse. I mean, we say for their sake, I feel terrible for
Yeah.
them. Not only did you kill my idol, you took the biggest losers in the Nebach in the corner, the biggest Neb, and it turns that I thought was, and it turns out the Torah, and that he's been teaching, and that guy with the sidelocks and that little, filter fish guy. It turns out he has a. It turns out he has a real point.
He's the best.
This is my new.
The exchange child again.
Okay, you like it, Josh? It's good, right? Wow, this is amazing. Ki oz b'Chanukah mamshichem b'chinas kedushas habeis hamikdash. Because on Chanukah we draw the kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash. That's what we're trying to do, right? We said when we learned all about the light, right? We're taking the fire of the world and we're raising Hashem's light, right? We're raising Hashem's light. That's all it's all about. Making Hashem's name known in the world. We're making Hashem's name known in the world. More, right? When all of those things happened, all those other Jews said, well, let's see, we must have been banking on the wrong thing because we thought this was right, but now let's see what the other side has to say because maybe they're right. Right? Shesham haya kol ha'avdus ha'karbonos shezeh nikra b'yoseh b'shem avoda. When it came to the avoda, the karbonos, right? The sacrifices in the temple, right? Okay, Mordechai, I'm just translating. Okay, when the Kohanim, when the priests did their sacrifices in the Beis Hamikdash, okay, so that was considered an avoda. Right? They were serving. It was a service, right? It was a lot of work, right? It was a lot of work. Slaughter the animal, cut up the animal, right? And you had to prepare the animal, the blood, sprinkle the blood. There's a lot of stuff to do, right? Get it on, lug that thing up, lug the carcass up on the Mizbeach, the ramp on the Mizbeach, to burn it on the Mizbeach. That was work, right? Yosem Mishak Kol HaMitzvah Shebet more so than all of the mitzvahs in the Torah, right? All the other mitzvahs we have in the Torah, they're not so physical. Yeah, you have to do physical things, but this was real work.
They dipped their hips in blood.
Yeah. This was a lot of work. Kamay shoimrim, v'hoshev es ha'avoda lidvir beisecha. Return the avoda to your Beis Hamikdash. When it says that lidvir beisecha, that's hinting to the Beis Hamikdash, to the temple. When we say that in the Shmon Esrei, we talk about the Dvir Beisecha, Hishi Yisrael Sfilosam, Meheira V'Hava Skalba Bratzim, right? We say that in the Ritzei, right? So when we say Lidvir Beisecha, that's the Beis Hamikdash, the house, the temple. Beis Hamikdash. I think we all know. Come on, we all know what Beis Hamikdash is, right? Do we know what Beis Hamikdash is? Do we have to translate that still?
No, based on me.
Okay, we know that. Okay, Lidvir Beisecha. So Dvir Beisecha is the Beis Hamikdash. V'hoshev Kaihanim la'avaydasam. So we're saying we have to bring back the Kahanim to their service. Bring the Kahanim back to their service.
The big
Service.
Slave.
What?
The big kahuna slave.
V'chein harbe. Ki ha-karbonos heim behemas. Because the karbonos were actually animals. They're animals. You used animals. Shayideizer machniyan ruach habahamias. You subdued, you suppressed the idea of the Bahamias, the animalistic tendencies that people have. All the animalistic things, you suppressed it. Shu bechina zumas eved, which is the eved. Valkei nikra b'shem avoda. That's why it's called avoda. So the Kohen was doing the avoda, but what? The highest avoda in the world, serving God in the temple. Ki al yedei avoda the kedusha sheim hakabana shel behemois shemachniyan ruach habahamis. That's how you could push down the ruach habahamis. So when you serve Hashem, you push down all the animalistic tendencies. Okay, take care, Yossi. Okay, Ayadeze Nichna Avdus the Sitracha. You can put down the Avdus of the Sitracha. B'chol Zehu B'chinas Chanukah. All of that is Chanukah. Every time you subdue what the ideals, and it's so interesting that this thing took place with the Congress, right, and in these universities, right. It took place on Chanukah. It's so amazing, right? It's Hashem has such a good sense of humor.
I didn't even think
It's such a good sense of humor. It's on
He's
Hanukkah.
just such a great educator. He's a great educator.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
On Hanukkah.
The other thing I thought was this is also, in the man of prayer, it says the man of wealth is going to have the toughest time. It's like the guy takes 100 million out of pen, and I forget what he put it into, but it was a Jewish...
Yeah.
No, it does.
Jewish guy.
No, he was Jewish, but what he put it into was to reinforce Judaism. It wasn't
Yeah.
It wasn't another
Yeah, it's
university.
Hanukkah.
One guy gave 100 million.
Yes, one man. Yeah, one every year. David. Every year he gave him $100 million. Every year,
$100 million.
$100 million.
Now that money is being put towards something Jewish. It's amazing. Because he took it really hard.
That's 370 million shekel. Right about.
It's beyond my...
Yeah. So all of that is Hanukkah. You see that? That's all Hanukkah, and it's so beautiful how that happened on Hanukkah. Isn't it amazing? Hashem does.
A lot of light.
The mamish the
Big
light.
fire and a lot of light.
The light. Yeah. It's amazing. They couldn't say. It's just fascinating. It's just so fascinating. They're just so trained
Well, it's also
in their servitude.
I think it's just totally normal. I mean, like, why are we surprised so much? I mean,
I'm not surprised, but it happened on Hanukkah. I understand, but in front of the world to say these things, they're not embarrassed. Unbelievable. They're mama's slaves. They're slaves.
And
Okay.
with the Red Cross did the same thing.
The what?
The Red Cross.
Oh, the Red Cross. Yeah, cross.
He
Yeah.
said to some of the Jewish people, he said, well, these people are dying too.
Right. So we don't have to worry about you guys. We'll just
Yeah.
worry about them. Right. All right. Anyway, listen. Have a wonderful Chanukah Sameach. Everyone should be glad. And tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to finish up Mem Zion 47, and then we're going to finish up Halacha Gimel. Then we're going to start a new topic altogether in Mitzvah Hashem. But we're still going to keep this one going, like Rav Nassan always does. He always keeps the things running to keep the things fresh on our mind. Everyone, cold too.